stalls. And there's their wedding picture in 1940, which they were married after 3 years of courtship. And Mom was a receptionist and technician to my dad in his office. My brother Lee was born in December of that year, and one fateful incident occurred at the clinic shortly after this picture was taken, when my dad befriended a neighboring business owner, Mr. Grossenbacher. Remember the name? Mr. Grossenbacher had a printing business just next door. His daughter had poor vision, so he brought her in for an eye exam. Dad did the eye exam and prescribed glasses, which he gave to them free because he enjoyed Mr. Grossenbacher's occasional visits and conversations. The all-American family life of the Sugis in Portland and the Sasakis in Seattle were developing over 2 generations, was suddenly suspended when Japan attacked Pearl Harbor. Dad was a 24-year-old president of the Portland Japanese American Citizens League. JACL was fiercely patriotic then, just as it is today. He rebuffed false accusations and rumors against the Japanese Americans reported in the newspapers, the Oregon Journal and the Oregonian. He was interviewed by the papers, and he also testified to the tolling committee on behalf of the committee to prevent incarceration. His words fell on deaf ears. Dad served on the Portland Auxiliary Fire Department and the police department. He trained and marched with the police. He guarded bridges in the middle of the night in case there was an enemy invasion. It's amazing that he was able to do that in spite of the hysteria against Japanese American citizens at the time. He also assisted the FBI in identifying Japanese Issei loyalists. He saw this as his patriotic duty. This slide is self-explanatory. Thank you. The effects of prejudice, hate, discrimination preceded the war, lasted during it, and afterwards for many years. It was, of course, nothing compared to the discrimination African Americans have endured for centuries. In order to combat this is the Christmas card my parents sent out in 1942. Like many families, the FBI came to our home to look for evidence of disloyalty. My dad was not home when the FBI entered. Grandpa Wasugi told them that they had been there. After searching the house, the team leader turned to the captain and asked, "Are we taking this man in?" "No," was the answer from the captain. "There is nothing of interest." When my dad asked his father who the captain of the FBI was, he answered, "Mr. Grossenbacher." It was then that Dad realized it was the friendly printer nearby his eye clinic that he had befriended and provided the glasses for his daughter. Mr. Grossenbacher lived an undercover life as an ordinary printer while working as a captain for the FBI. So I was born on May 5th, 1942. I'm 75, yes. The last day we were ordered to get to the Portland Assembly Center, which was the first detention center. I was born premature 2 weeks before my due date, perhaps because of the stress of the times on my mom. Here's what my dad wrote about my birth. Roy was born at 5 a.m. at home without a doctor. He was already an inmate at the camp. Even though I was there, I had to admit he was a self-delivery. Roy Kermit kicked himself to freedom. Well, my brother says that I was a bucket baby because I was popped right into a wash bucket. So this is the villa house where I was born, and the grocery store that you see there is my grandfather's store, and he's standing there in the right window, and the 2 men on the stoops are tenants within the villa house. And most of the tenants there were Caucasian, mostly of European extraction, because we lived not in the Japantown area. This is the typical area around our house where I was born. So I have 1 foot in the 19th century because of that. I was born and immediately became a suspect enemy alien, supposedly capable of sabotage, and I had to be locked up behind barbed wire and guarded by rifle-toting soldiers in case I tried to escape. This is a slide of the Portland Assembly Center, an aerial view, and the herding of the people into the stalls. We were placed into a hastily constructed 10 by 10 former livestock stall with a plywood floor to cover the animal manure below our feet. The smell was overwhelming. Our one bare light bulb hung in the center of the stall with fly paper issued to hang around to catch the hundreds of flies which spread in the manure below. Sanitation was minimal, and the common outdoor toilets had inadequate plumbing to remove waste. No partitions existed between the open wooden holes along the long wooden board. Privacy was non-existent. We were formally comfortable in our own private homes, single heated bedrooms with private bathrooms and kitchens to prepare our meals. Meals were served in a large community mess hall. On shifts, where women and children ate at staggered times. These were the soldiers who were guarding the Portland Assembly Center with barbed wire around us. This map of the Assembly Center shows on the top left, there's a laundry room. So my mom had to take all the diapers that I had, dirtied every day, bring them over there, wash them, hang them up to dry, and then go back to our little stall. I actually don't know what location we were here, but it probably was not very convenient no matter where it was.